Good morning, everybody. I wanted to take a couple minutes to show you these new bottles that we're releasing this week, where we have our full lineup of our English beers: Tall Mast, with this English Porter White Horse, and then we have our brown ale known as Yorkshire Round, and finally that leaves us with our MSB, our English Bitter. So I wanted to tell you that these are made to simulate what you get out of our casks here at the brewery, directly out of these beer engines. So what I mean by that is we put uncarbonated beer into these bottles, add sugar, add yeast, add some clarification ingredients, and let them sit until they're ready to drink. And when we do that, it evolves into something more subtle than you'll get off of a traditional keg, and some of the flavors that come about by that process are unique to this process entirely. Okay, so because all of that stuff's been added to these bottles, you have to take some considerate care in pouring and drinking and serving these. So I'm going to get a glass and show you how to pour one of these out. So the first thing to do is make sure your glass is clean. That's step one. And make sure there's no soap residue, because that'll destroy your bubbles. And the next thing is you rinse it out, and that'll keep from those teeny little bubbles from forming on the outside of the glass, provided, of course, that it is a clean glass. So when you open this, I don't know if you can hear that, but you hear a really subtle hiss, not overly so. These aren't highly carbonated, and you should be serving this at around 50 degrees. So leave it out an hour of your refrigerator before you pour it if you really want to get down into the details. Okay, so when I pour this, I'll pour into the middle of the glass because, like I said, there's not a ton of carbonation, but I'm also going to only tip it slowly and at most to halfway, to horizontal, because there's that sludge in the back of it, or the bottom of this glass. So here I go. I'm going to pour this, and I'm pouring right in the middle of that glass. And I can see with my eyes that this is a very clear beer until it isn't. So as I'm going along here, I'm raising my bottle up to generate even more foam. And as I get closer to the end, obviously I'm going to run out of glass, but this glass is perfectly sized for this bottle. So right about there, you can't see it on camera, but it started to get a little bit sludgy. So I'm going to take what's in there, put it into another glass, and show you what's left behind. This is what happens, and I picked a dark beer, so it's not the best example, but I hope you can still appreciate what I'm doing here. So, left behind here is basically dead yeast, which is fine, it's healthy, but it's going to destroy the drinking experience here. So as you drink these, make sure that you pour them entirely out. Don't pour halfway, set it down halfway, set it down halfway, set it down, else the entire thing will be mixed up with this dead yeast. And then I guess goes with that, don't drink directly from the bottle. Probably should never do that anyway. You'll never smell or experience a beer it was meant to be experienced. So that's that. Do that with all of these new beers. They're available now for the first time ever. Our brewers have worked very hard to bring those to you. So cheers and happy holidays.